Hello, word nerds. Welcome to the dictionary. My name is Spencer. This is episode F140. And the words, oh boy, it is snowy today. Holy crud. It's late March. And the snow, there was multiple inches of snow on the ground this morning. And it's probably the wettest heaviest snow that I have experienced in quite a while, at least this whole season. Yes, very, very wet snow. Perfect for making a snow person out there. If I didn't have to work, maybe I would go do that and go sledding. All right, the first word in this episode is the fourth form of the word flounce. Noun from 1713. This is a strip of fabric attached by one edge. Also, a wide ruffle is also a flounce. Flouncy is an adjective. Okay, so great. A strip of fabric attached by one edge. So is it the long edge that it's attached by, or like just the short little side it's attached on that side, and then the strip of fabric is flouncing away from wherever it's attached? I'm not so sure. But let's connect this to the previous word. This was the verb to trim with flounces. So this is like you're putting these flounces on things. You're attaching these fabrics. So it's just filled with flounces. Whatever this thing is, maybe it's your jacket. You want to bedazzle your jacket with flounces, so you could have a flouncy jacket? I don't really know how people are using this. Let's make a sound. What sound shall we make today? We're going to go... The next word is flouncing. Noun from 1862. It is material used for flounces. Which would that be? The fabric? Or the wide ruffle? What? The ruffle, is this the ruffle here on your shirt, like where the tie goes? Is it ruffles on your sleeves? On your cuffs? You could have ruffles all over the place. What are there? Any other material for flounces? I think that's the only one. That's the only one. I'm kind of just saying one of the words in a weird way. Next, we have flounder. First form, noun from the 15th century. The synonym is flatfish. We talked about the flatfish a little while ago. The fish who swim normally when they're young, and then as they get older, they go, I'm just going to lay down for the rest of my life. They're just the adults, the tired adults of the fish world. So a flounder is one of them, but especially a marine fish of either of two families that include important food fishes. So do we kill these cute little weird flatfishes and eat them? The family names that were mentioned are Pleuronectidae and Bolthidae. Yeah, if you know your families, you can add those to the list. Let's see. This word, flounder, is Middle English of Scandinavian origin, akin to the Norwegian word flundra, which means flounder. So that's it. But that was just the first form of flounder, because now we have the second. Oh, I have to go. The second form of flounder. It is a verb from 1592. I think it is just intransitive. Number 1, to struggle to move or obtain footing. And then also thrash about wildly. Yes, if you are struggling to find your footing or to move, maybe you're trapped somehow, you would thrash about wildly. Maybe you are a wild animal in a trap. Oh, I'm going to flounder so much. I would flounder so much if I were an animal trapped in a thing. I would want to get out of there. Unless I was dead, I would want to get out of this trap. I'm going to flounder all over the place. Number 2 is to proceed or act clumsily or ineffectually. The second one is the one that I'm definitely more used to. Struggling to move. I mean, I guess yeah, like you're physically. I'm floundering. I'm trying to get from place to place. I can't. It's very difficult. This is how I walk every day. No, but it's the. See, I'm floundering right now. Right? It's like when the brain doesn't know how to proceed. That is definitely a good flounder. Oh, I'm a great flounderer. This word, this one is a little bit different than the other flounder. This is probably an alternative of the word founder. I wonder why. Founder and flounder. Interesting. Fleur. Now we have the word flower. First form, this one is spelled Flour. Noun from the 13th century. Why do we need words that sound the same and are spelled differently? Also, what's interesting is that this flower is on this episode, but the other flower with the W is on the very next episode. They're so close alphabetically. So, this noun flour, number 1, a product consisting of finely milled wheat. Also, a similar product made from another grain or food product. And examples of those food products could be dried potatoes or fish. I'm trying to think of if I've ever heard of fish flour. Maybe I've heard of dried potato flour, but there are definitely, especially in these gluten-free days, there are lots of different kinds of flours. And so all it is taking a thing, grinding it down into a fine powder, and then you use it in stuff. What do you use it in? I don't know. Food things. Number 2, a fine soft powder. That's it. Any sort of powder that is fine and soft. Oh, this powder is so soft. Let me touch it. What would you use that for? Like maybe your makeup is a fine powder that you're putting on. You'd call that a flour? I don't know. Flourless is an adjective. Also a cake, a flourless cake. And flowery is an adjective. It's a Middle English word, and there's more at the word flower with the W-E-R, so they definitely seem related etymologically. I don't know. I mean, I don't do a whole lot of baking. Back in the day, when I was a child, we would make chocolate chip cookies and stuff like that, so that was all very good. And you'd use flour in there. So flour is not a thing that is part of my day-to-day life, but I remember using it, and you have to be so careful when you're pouring it into the bowl and mixing it all up. You got to be careful so it doesn't fly all over the place. It's very easy for flour to fly around, and then you got to clean it up, and it's a pain in the butt. So anything else, there are those sifting contraptions, or you put them in a thing and shake it around. For some reason, you need to sift the flour in certain recipes because it's going to react to the stuff in a different way. That whatever fluffing it up is going to do something. I don't know. I never studied the baking. Anything else about flour? I don't know. This seems like one of those things that everybody has in their house, but most people don't use it very much. And they're like, oh, it's time to use the flour. It's from 1972. You probably should throw that out. Fleur. Now we have the second form of flour. Verb from 1657, starting with transitive. To coat with or as if with flour. To coat with flour. Flour that thing. What are you flouring? What are you coating with flour? You put the flour in the thing. Is there I guess it's maybe just the fine powder. If you want to put a fine powder on a thing, maybe that fine powder is a powdered sugar. And then you can coat me with that type of flour. Intransitive is to break up into particles. Oh, so this is very different. The transitive and the intransitive are very different things. You're flouring a thing, putting the flour on a thing, that's transitive. But intransitive is to turn a thing into a flour. The dried potatoes, the fish, the wheat, the other grains. Finely milled. Yeah, there are lots of types of grains that you could do. You could make flour. Just grinding it up into a flour. You're flouring it, and that's it. Or just anything, right? It's not just for the food stuff. It's anything that you're breaking up into particles. Flour. Now we have flour beetle, 2 words, noun from 1888. Any of various small darkling beetles that typically feed on and lay eggs in stored grain and grain products like flour. So you got to make sure that your flour container, whatever it is, the bag, if you're putting it in a Tupperware of some kind, you're putting it into one of those cylinders, you got to make sure that it is sealed up tight because you don't want no beetles laying eggs in there. I don't think you do. Maybe you do. Maybe you're that type of person. Let's see. The species names here, we got a couple for this small darkling beetle, is Tribble, I see what I was trying to do, because it goes over to the next line. I was adding a syllable. Tribolium confusum. That these words confused me. And also Tribolium castaneum. There we go. All right, the flower beetle. Never heard of it, but I don't want to ever experience it. Fleur. Now we have flourish. Now you can say flourish, what's the flourish? Flourish. However you want to emphasize the ooh sound is fine with me. This is the first form. It's a verb from the 14th century. Number 1, to grow luxuriantly. The synonym is thrive. What a fascinating adverb to use on how something is growing luxuriantly. That was my shoe squeaking on the thing. So it's like you have all the time in the world. You could just do whatever you want when you're growing luxuriantly. You're thriving. You are living the luxurious life when you are flourishing. Number 2A, to achieve success, and the synonym is prosper, as in a flourishing business. That business is prospering, it's thriving, it is successful. To be in a state of activity or production, as in flourished around 1850. So this is just the time that this thing was active, right? Flourished around 1850. Around 1850, the business of what was flourishing in 1850? I don't know. It was in a state of activity and production, so it was flourishing. Number 2C, to reach a height of development or influence. Just some random height of those things. Number 3, to make bold and sweeping gestures. To make bold and sweeping gestures. I'm trying to think about how this works. Sweeping gestures. You're flourishing. Is this literal gestures? I am making a bold and sweeping gestures when I move my hand across the camera. Is that a flourish? Or it's probably, yes, when you're doing some fancy things, you're flourishing your arms. I don't know. That's a funny one. So those were all intransitive, which I didn't realize, and now we have transitive, which is to wield with dramatic gestures. The synonym is brandish. So maybe you're like wielding a tool, wielding a sword. You're doing something. You're very good with these dramatic sword gestures. A synonym is swing. Swinging something around, swinging a hammer, yeah, an axe. You're flourishing it because it's a big dramatic gesture. All right. Is there a connection between the gestures and the activity, the thriving, the prospering? They're very different ideas and concepts. Flourisher is a noun, flourishingly is an adverb, and the etymology says this is from Middle English flourishen, from Anglo-French fleuris, which is a stem of flourier or florir, which is from the vulgar Latin florire, which is an alternative of the Latin florere, which is from flor or flos, which means flower. It all comes back to flower. Why flower? Why? Well, because flowers, they grow and then they boom, pop open into a flowering thing, a bloom with the petals and the beautiful colors and the pollens and all the stuff inside, which we're going to learn about all in the next episode. And so I guess it's just like, oh, there's all this activity and then it exploded and it's flourishing, and then I don't know, the gesture are all these arm gestures like you're like a flower when you're doing these things? Sure, why not? Flour. Now we have the second form of flourish, noun, from circa 1552. Number 1, an act or instance of brandishing or waving. You're flourishing your flourish. 2a, a florid bit of speech or writing. And if I remember correctly, we had florid not that long ago. This is your speech or writing, which is just added with like all of this extra ornamental stuff to make it sound very fancy. So the example is rhetorical flourishes. You are adding the flourishes to your speech or writing, yes, to make it florid. You need the flourishes to make it florid. 2b, an ornamental stroke in writing or printing. Oh, this is literally when you make your writing fancy, your printing fancy. You know, sometimes like the first letter of a paragraph of a chapter will be big and ornamental, so that is a flourish. The people back in the day, especially a lot of monks, I think, they were doing a lot of writings. They had fun with these types of flourishes. I should post some pictures of examples of just some of the more fun or strange single letter flourishes that they've done. So that was 2b. Now we have 2c, which is a decorative or finishing detail, as in a house with clever little flourishes. Look around, see if you can find the clever little flourishes we put around the house, the little ornaments, the decorations, the finishing details. It's not finished until you put the flourishes on. Number 3, the synonym is fanfare. Number 4a, a period of thriving. Number 4b, a luxuriant growth or profusion, as in a flourish of white hair. A luxuriant growth or profusion. It's coming out of your head. Maybe you just have one tuft of white hair. Just this little section over here is white hair. And so you have a flourish of white hair. Your hair has been flourished with white hair. Also is in a springtime flourish of color. Yes, all the colors start coming out in the springtime. Everything's growing and flourishing. Number 5, showiness in the doing of something. As in, opened the door with a flourish. Again, I think I mentioned Cosmo Kramer from Seinfeld. Of course, he is the first person I go to when I think of things done in this very dramatic, big way. Open the door with a flourish. When he did some showiness when you did something. I think we should all do a little bit more showiness when we're doing something, just to add that little extra mwah to what you do. Just add a little flourish anytime. Number 6, a sudden burst, as in a flourish of activity. All of a sudden, there's a whole lot of stuff happening. It's a flourish. All right, that's it for that word, and now we're going to go on to our last word, fleur. It's the first form of the word flout, and we'll have the second form as well. Flout, F-L-O-U-T, verb from 1551. This is, we're starting with transitive, by the way. To treat with contemptuous disregard. To treat with contemptuous disregard. The synonym is scorn, as in flouting the rules. Ha 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 ha. I don't need to follow the rules. I have contemptuous disregard for the rules. Rules can't hold me down. I will break the rules and you can't stop me. Oh, there is somebody in American power right now who thinks that he can flout all the rules, but we're gonna get him with legal reasons. Okay. The U.S. government has like over 15 legal cases right now. Has there ever been a time when the U.S. government, has been in such legal trouble? What is happening? I don't like this weird timeline we're living in. Intransitive for flout is to indulge in scornful behavior. This is behavior that is worthy of other people scorning it. This is bad behavior, what you're doing right now. You're flouting. Quit your flouting. Ooh, the video got weird there. Synonym is the word scoff. Ha ha ha. I scoff. I scoff at your rules. Usage says, see the word flaunt, which is that the episode that just aired today? Because I do remember. Yes, it was. There were the usage information, which I literally just listened to this morning. How interesting is that? That flaunt and flout sort of got mixed up. Maybe people got confused, and they thought that the word was flaunt or whatever it was. They started using flaunt instead of flout and flout instead of flaunt, and so the original definitions I don't think were meant the same thing, but now they kind of do. Is weird. Check out that usage information, flaunt. That's the episode that aired today, which was March 20th, which I can give you more information if you really want to know. I can find it real quickly like... It is episode F124. There you go, if you want to hear the flout usage stuff. Flouter is a noun, and this, here we go. This etymology is from Middle English flauten, which means to play the flute. From flute, which means flute. So, okay, let's see. How is doing this bad behavior stuff related to playing the flute? Are flute players always flouting their skills and breaking the rules and is playing the flute a scornful behavior? These are the things that I need to know. How, what, huh? I don't know. But it could be related to flaunt, possibly, because that whole area had flute stuff too, like flauta. I don't know what is going on. But now we got to go to the very last word. Fleur. It's the second form of flout, noun from 1566, and the synonym is jeer, Jeer. And I guess I don't have a great definition for that. I sort of think of it as an action or a look on your face or something that's like maybe it's related to disregarding things and being scornful. A jeer. What's a jeer? So yeah, maybe it's related. Seems like it might be. I'm not so sure. We'll have to get an official definition to jeer when we get to the J's someday. All right. With that now, it is time to pick a word of the episode. Today we had flounce, flouncing, flounder, flounder, flower, 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 beetle, flourish, flourish, flout, and flout. And which one am I going to pick? Well, I think I might do flourish. Flourish. Is there any other one? I think that's fine. I think that's good. I think that's great, in fact. Flourish. Oh, if I were smart enough, I could flourish my song with lots of fancy words, but I've never been good at that. So I'll just do a song where I'm doing flourishes with my hands, doing flourishes with my hands. These are my flourishes. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, that was fine. You get some great stuff here on this podcast, which is clearly flourishing. I don't have another movie to tell you about. Last night we watched more episodes of Mo, which is, oh boy, this show, they go deep, man. They're dealing with political stuff, immigration stuff, race stuff. Oh, the Mexico immigration situation is how the second season starts. They're doing it. They're doing it. So yeah, you got to watch this show. I guess that's it. It's a little bit shorter because the next word is smack dab right in the middle of the page, and I'm not going to break up the whole word. And so I was like, well, do I put it on the top half or the bottom half? I don't know. There's a diagram at the bottom of the page, and so that sort of opens up some space a little bit. So I was like, yeah, I'll just put it on there. And, I don't think it's going to happen. I'm just going to say it. But the next word is the word flow. And I really, really, really wanted to get Gintz, the writer, director, music person, and more on the movie Flow. But, I've reached out to his management a couple of times and heard nothing. So maybe I'll try once more just to get him to come on for just a little bit of time is all I want. I just would love to chat with him, but whatever. I don't think it's going to happen. So that's it. Thank you for checking out this show. Share it far and wide with your silly friends. And until next time, this is Spencer dispensing information. Goodbye.